Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to the Trade the Pool live stream with myself, Scott, and Deanna. How are you doing, Deanna?
Good morning. How are you doing?
All very well, thank you. Tiny T, good morning. Mohammed, good morning. Put your tickers in the chat. Let us know what you have got and what you're looking at today, and we will be right back with you after this. Alrighty, so I think we're going to kick off again with our mindset for a few minutes.
Sounds good. All right. Okay, so I'm going to set a timer for 2 minutes, and we're just going to work on being our bodies in a position of power and confidence, getting our mind and our body warmed up and ready to go. So as we're doing this, we're going to be taking deep breaths in our nose, exhaling through our mouth, smiling on the inhale. Okay, so arms overhead or on your hips, chin up, lifted. Breathe in through your nose. Hold at the top and big exhale. Inhale through the nose and smile. Thinking about what you're thankful and grateful for. Even bigger smile this time. Big smile. Breathe in through your nose. Maybe incorporating a bit of a stretch as you're doing this. Remembering to smile on the inhale, hold at the top, and big exhale through your mouth. Let all that stress go. Breathe in, thinking all of the things that you're thankful for, your family, your health. Last big breath in and smile. And exhale, big, powerful exhale. Breathe all that stress out. There we go. That's it. All right.
All right.
Feel nice and ready to go, charged and ready to go. Not too charged, but our brains are alert and ready. You want to go ahead and do the visualization, Scott?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. So to give an idea of what we're doing here, we're going to go through what it looks like to lose and then what it looks like to win. Okay. So I invite you to close your eyes with me, and we're going to work through the sensations in our body, the emotions we're experiencing, and super importantly, the thoughts that we hear in our head. Okay. So I invite you to close your eyes, look at your chart in your mind's eye. You can see your platform before you. And I want you to think about entering a trade, and the trade goes against you. So the trade is moving toward your stop loss, you're in drawdown, and it's not looking good. So I want you to first pay attention to the sensations that you're feeling in your body. Maybe you feel something in your stomach or in your throat. Maybe your heart rate feels different. Maybe your breath is different. Focus on sitting up like there's a string on the top of your head, shoulders back, chin up. We're sending a signal to our mind, to our brain, that we're safe, we're okay. There's no need to be fearful. We're not in danger, and we're sending this signal of confidence to our mind. So again, sit up straight, shoulders back, chin lifted, maybe even smile. Okay, we can tell our brain what we want it to believe. So we're making an intention to do that this morning because we know that a stop protects us. It's not a danger scenario. Pay attention to your emotions now. Some of the emotions you might be experiencing might be anger, might be fear, could be sadness, disgust, or even surprise. These are the negative emotions that most commonly occur. So it's okay to have those emotions, and you can help yourself by acknowledging the emotion. I'm feeling fearful. I'm feeling anxious. I'm feeling angry. And work on tuning it down or dialing it down. So you're removing the emotion from yourself, acknowledging it out loud, and turning it down. Again, focusing on your body posture, sitting up straight and tall. And now tuning into your mind, into your thoughts. So you know that you have thoughts when you're in a losing position, and you know what that sounds like. But we're going to work on replacing those thoughts, telling yourself this is a valid trade. I risked appropriately. All traders take losses. Losing is part of the game. Okay. And if I want to be a trader, I have to be okay with losses. Okay. Now the stop gets hit, or we close out the position and we reset. So we're starting fresh, starting new, whether that means getting up, walking around. Maybe you need to stop, take a break, go for a walk. Maybe it's just a big deep breath. Whatever that means for you. All right, now imagine yourself taking another trade, and this time the trade goes in your favor. So the trade starts to move in your direction toward your profit target. Pay attention to the sensations in your body, how your body feels in these moments. Imagine what that feels like for you personally, specifically. Okay. Again, you're sitting up, nice and tall, shoulders back. Pay attention to the emotion that you might be experiencing. Both the emotion, maybe it's happiness or joy, and the body sensations, focus on turning them down. So it's fine to have a response in your body. It's fine to have experience and emotion. You're just working on turning it down. And again, you can do the same thing. Acknowledge the emotion. I'm feeling happy. I'm feeling excited. Okay. And then make a conscious effort to turn that emotion down. We're trying to level out the peaks and the valleys in our emotional experience. And then focusing on our thoughts. I'm not a hero. I'm not a genius. This is just what I do. This is just my edge playing out. Okay. You take that win and you reset. Again, whatever that means for you, whether it's a quick stand up, whether it's a walk around the block or a big breath, maybe it just means clearing the markings off your chart. Whatever that means for you, reset. Every trade is a new trade. Every trade is completely unrelated to the trade that came before it. Okay. So one big final big breath and exhale. All right. We're ready. Great
I'm
job.
ready.
Thank you for joining me, Scott.
No worries. You got it. Anytime. Okay. What have we got? Let's have a look at what we've got going on in the chat. Tiny T, good morning. Mohammed Boogie Woogie is back in the house. Trader Life, how you doing? And Toronto Daz practices yoga and meditation for over 30 years, and it's great to see it on a platform like this. Thank you very much, Toronto Daz. Appreciate that. Will, how you doing? Good morning. So no tickers as yet. Let's start off with what I was looking at this morning, and then we'll take a look at the overall market. So I'm gonna switch up my screen here. Let's go for this one here.
Good morning, Scott. He just jumped on right after you said hello to everyone. So good morning,
Hey,
welcome.
Scott.
Thanks for joining us. And stock market tips and tricks. Good morning. There's a ticker for you too, Scott. WBA.
Oh, we got one. Okay, cool. We'll take a look. So I was looking at MLEC today. MLEC. they're doing some sort of plant protein. I think they call it piggy soy, but they've got authorization to kind of continue that this is all good for them. So it's pretty decent news actually, but not sure whether or not it's going to make this one go supernova. But I've got a benchmark at 3 to 4. 380 to $4 on this one, and the pre-market's holding up quite nicely there. Let's take the sessions off for the stocks. So the pre-market's holding up quite nicely in kind of the top third of where it kind of came from this morning. So I would just look to see. This is for if this was to remain the high, what my target would kind of be for a resting, kind of done for the day target. If it was to fade from here. Other than that, let's take a look at the volume that we're seeing on a 1 minute basis this morning. Just see if I can zoom in here. Yeah, so this is over 100,000 volume. So this is not something that I'm thinking short straight away necessarily. If it was under 50,000, then perhaps I'd be more interested in shorting this straight out the gate. But let's see what we get on this. The most recent low to high, so the most recent swing has been acknowledged by the machines switching on this morning at 8 a.m. So we have another level here that is on the buy side. So if we're going to go higher today, we could just tack into this level before we turn around and push. That would be a good potential buy there. Else, I think if this is going to remain the high, if the pre-market high is going to remain the high of day, then this is the area of contention for either shorts or whether or not we can break it and get above it to go for the benchmark itself. So I've got a bogey level at 360. We can always see some form of resistance there and a pullback for liquidity, but the benchmark's residing around just under $4 there. So we'll see what we've got, see whether this holds. Might be pre-market, might be into the session, but that's kind of the hot stock for today on that. There is another one, NKGN. Let's have a quick look. You got INMM and WBA. Quick look at WBA. Quick look, he said, at WBA. Let's go again. Here we go. So where's this guy come from? Okay. So yeah, there's some more legs on this, I think. I just don't know whether or not I'll have to have a look at what the market cap is on this one. So I think in the first instance, we're going to be looking up here around 1880 to 19. So see if we can get there. There is another benchmark up there around $20. So let's drag that one up there. That's going to be up there around $20 as well. But more importantly, it's broken out of this level above 1790 and closed above it, which means it can have momentum to the upside for me. That's kind of key that it breaks out of there. So we'll see what we've got on WBA. Oh, the sell side, most recent sell side liquidity pool is going to be in a very similar place actually. So sell side, I won't draw it in. It's in a very similar place. It's a little bit under there is the sell side liquidity, but let's see if we can't get to the benchmarks on WBA today. We'll stick that on the watch. Before we go on with the others, should we have a look at the overall market just to get a bit of context, Deanna?
Sure. Looking at NQ this morning, we had a large sell-off last week. So big drop below this consolidation area, fell well below the 50-day moving average. The 21-day moving average has now crossed below that. So huge sell-off in the NASDAQ. It's possible we may see some level of a demand area. So we might see a type of reaction. This is a very heavy news week. A lot of earnings reports coming out this week, from some really big names. So that could potentially move the market. And as far as news goes, there's no high impact news today. We have PMI tomorrow and GDP unemployment Thursday, core PCE on Friday. So there could be some good movement in the market this week. We'll see what happens. Overnight session, we had in the Asian session a fairly broad movement in the Asian session. So typically you can see this little indicator I'm using here on the upper right side. It gives me an idea of the current range and how that compares to the last 50 periods. And so 136% of the typical Asian range. So it was a little bit more activity overnight during the Asian range and also during the London Open. Price moved above the Asian range, dipped back below, moved back above the London range, moved back below, and we're just sort of still in that little range area here. So will be interesting to see how the market opens, if we can get a little move above and if we see a retreat from these highs there on the NASDAQ.
Okay, cool. Thank you very much. So that's the NQ for you. It's the NASDAQ overall. Obviously, that same analysis applies on the Qs. It would just be a different number in terms of the price. So having a look at who called this one out. Let's have a look. Stock markets, tips and tricks. Oh, so that was around 15 billion. Yeah, so I think that's a different... yeah, I'll just treat that a little bit differently. I wouldn't necessarily expect it to rocket up to there on WBA. That's it. I just expect a kind of more of a trend up. Let's see, but it's still doable. It is still doable today to get to that benchmark, I think, on WBA. So then over to Mohammed had IMNM. And what do I have on this? Okay, so some huge accumulation at the top over a consistent period of time. I have a buy side liquidity pool down here at 1475. It's a really wide one given where it came from. It's kind of every swing that it had, they kind of amalgamate into one. So there's kind of three levels here. So then it isn't actually a zone. There are three distinct levels in here. So treat them individually if you like. The first one would be around 1475. Now, if I was taking that at the top, let me drop down so I can get a little bit more detail on the hourly here. Let's see what we've got. Okay, so target one. So okay, so the benchmark is down at 973. So if that's the gap between 1635, which is basically the whole liquidity pool. So we're going to have to look for some rejection down here before getting long, I think. That's assuming that we don't pull back first before we do. So let me just check intraday what we've got if you're thinking about doing this intraday. So if you're thinking about getting in on the short down to that liquidity pool, then it's what do we got here? 1675, something like that. Just roughly drawing that in there. Sell side. So 1670. Yeah, 1670. So I'm kind of not convinced there's anything to do right this minute on this ticker. I'd rather it come down, acknowledge and see some rejection somewhere between this kind of 14 and 12 area. But else, if we do pop up and see some rejection at 1680, 17, then we could play that to the downside to get it down to that liquidity pool. Yep, will do. So Scott's looking at Tesla. Great, Scott. SBFM. There's a load of tickers this morning and MNDR as well. Okay, let's have a quick look. Tesla was on the scanners dropping like a stone this morning. I'm guessing that's still the case.
Yeah, it's going to open way lower than it closed on Friday. We have earnings tomorrow on Tesla. So this is definitely one that I'm potentially interested in as well. As far as, getting in on short, it has been so weak, but I would want to see, getting in long. I think that's what you said specifically, maybe, Scott. I want to see how it opens because this is a pretty large gap down, and it's been just a mess on the daily chart. So it could set up a possibility, especially around earnings tomorrow. I'm a little bit hesitant to trade it the day before earnings, but we'll see how it opens.
Yeah, same. I think everyone's. I don't think it matters what that earnings necessarily going to be on the off to tomorrow on this. It just seems to be getting pounded at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
If I was looking for a pullback to short, though, it would probably be from the highs of Friday down to the lows of pre-market, assuming we don't go any lower, because if we do go lower, then this is going to the pool is going to chase it down basically. But it's a big ask that we're going to get a pop to 146.80 today on Tesla to even short. If not, it's going to be a momentum play if you're interested in joining that. See if there's anything on there. Yeah.
Good morning, Noli and Blue Elf and Lufkin. I'm sorry, Scott. I got you again.
Yes.
Stock market tips and tricks. I think we already said good morning to you. I'm trying to keep up with the chat as it's scrolling through. Some questions on the new platform. Scott, do you have any?
What's the question on the new platform? Is anyone able to log into the new platform, Blue Earth? Yes, I have. So I had my call up to transfer over to the new hub this morning. It was pretty simple. It's basically logging into that link that you get into the email, resetting your password, and then logging into the new platform, and then you'll see your accounts all broken down there. Yeah, I really like that platform. Get a lot more detail in there. You can see what trades are qualified and what isn't qualified for the program. So yeah, that's all good there. But yeah, I haven't heard of anyone not being able to get into it as we've gone live with that at the moment. But if you have, yeah, reach out to the Discord. We've got support in there, and they'll be able to help you out, Blue Elf. So you've been going back for a forth with them for a week now and not been able to be here. So I think we only went live with it at the end of last week. So the old dashboard, yep, we know it wasn't working. It hasn't been working for the best part of this year, but we have released the new one. And you will know if you've got the email that you've been transferred over to the new one. And that is, as far as I can see this morning, I went over this morning. It's all working well. All right, MNDR. So MNDR's been a while here. Let's have a look. So this is, I'm going to get a bigger time frame for this and going to go from the last time that we touched this moving average. Okay, so yeah, this is what have we got on pre-market on this? Is it 25? Yeah. So yeah, I think this is a nice area that we could see bidders come in and support this price action here at the moment. The only thing is, this is, let me see what it is on the daily. Is it outperforming? Oh, it is outperforming. So no, that's fine. So yeah, this was the new issue, right? This was the IPO. Yeah, this was the IPO from last week. So yeah, still putting in new highs. This is a very good place to look for joining what is a very early uptrend at the moment. I'm just trying to see the post-market highs, pre-market lows. Yeah, I think you've got to watch out if we break 21.35. Other than that, I think it's good. Is that the liquidity switch on? Yes, it is. So I'll go from the last swing high. So you could see some interference here at a kind of 32 to 34. So watch out for that. That would be a sell side liquidity. So we have to get above 33.80 and close above to get another push higher for that. So just watch we don't get an inside day. Don't expect too much necessarily, but still, if we start to curl up out of 25s, there's a decent play up there to 32 in my eyes. We got a nice little bounce on FVG, sorry. And a Mara, short Mara at 1770. Anyone else? That's what you've got. We've got a couple of minutes. Have a look. Short 1770. Let's have a look. So let's take the It's a bit messy, isn't it? Let's go from the pre-market and see what we've got. So liquidity. So the short side, yeah, it's difficult. Yeah, I mean the short side, if I'm just taking the pre-market high to the after the liquidity switch on, it's kind of right here for me. So I'd be careful if we break above 1730, but that 1770 area, I think you're shorting just above kind of pre-market high. The liquidity switch on, I don't count, but that is obviously 1770 on the bounce. But before that, it was 1760. But you have to deal with 1733 and 35 and close above. But yeah, that was on the scanners for sure this morning. Big time on the scanners. Okay. Let's see what we've got on the NQ. Set ourselves up.
We're getting a little bit of a pullback just prior to the open here, coming up in just a few seconds.
Okay.
All right. There's the NQ. Yeah, a little bit of a pullback into the open here. So we'll see how things shake out. If we can get over the London, this area here, if we can get over this area, we might see a bit of a pullback and then a continuation higher. That could be good. We'll see what happens here. Also, looking at Netflix. Netflix reported earnings last week and took a big dive last week. So this morning, and we'll see if it can find support or if it just continues lower.
All right, so quick look here. Then, so I've had this sell side liquidity sitting up here. It's tapped in once, twice, been sitting there for the rest of this morning as well. So that's the key area for me if we're going to get above it. We didn't break out of the London session, I don't think, today. But now it's having a go. Mara's up to just touched into that 1750 level, by the way. I was just keeping an eye on that. Just off that level at 1750. So yeah, Nasdaq rejecting off of that area now, and there's the drop from that liquidity pool. So the smaller time frame now is kind of going to be right. So this is a micro swing. Generally, one of these gets broken unless you have a real lackluster day. So this is where I would see buy side liquidity sitting now fresh, just off of this move, just off of the last push up in that Globex session in the pre-market. So let's see what we've got. Still looking at this kind of anything above 17,326 on the Nasdaq. So we look at MLEC. What did MLEC go? I haven't heard it on the ticker. Okay, so MLEC is just tapped into its sell side liquidity here. It didn't even go for a new high at the moment on MLEC. So yeah, but we need to, if we're going to go any higher today on this one, again, it's a close above this kind of 315, 320 area. All right, let's see. We've got MARA. Okay, so MARA, yes, it doesn't look the massive wick on the open, but the sell side liquidity holding there on MARA for the time being. So I don't think you'd have quite got that one if you was at 1770. But yeah, nice little short there on Mara. NQ's not making its mind up yet, is it?
Mm-hmm. Lufkin's talking about a possible looking at the fair value gap at the midpoint on NQ. So if we continue to find support here, when it's this volatile on the open, I prefer to see price come down and maybe wick out, dip below these lows here before moving higher, so that we have kind of an idea of where price is going to go today. so far, like you said, it's just kind of a little bit unclear. At least for a probabilistic setup, it's hard to know which direction to go just yet.
Gotcha. Let's just got Tim in the chat here. I think he's trying to jump on. We're supposed to have him on this morning. Let's see if we can't get him in. If he's in the background. No, he's not. Okay. We'll try and WhatsApp that over to you, Tim. Okay, so Tesla coming off now. The NQ just still not deciding, just still doing its opening range thing at the moment. Let's have a quick grab this back. So yeah, initially off of its moving averages for Tesla. Let's see if it's going to continue to push down on here. NQ.
Netflix dipped below a prior low here, and this could actually, if NQ moves higher, this could be a really good area to go long Netflix if it continues to find support at this level here. We dip below this demand zone area, dipped below that, and now I'd be looking for a push higher, depending on how NQ holds up.
Okay, great. Scott's looking at what we've got here. NIV. Oh, NIVF. Yeah, you're right. 31.36 has halted. Let's see what that's got. Okay, here we go with the NQ now. That's taking another push down as well. Let's just quickly analyze this. It's going to have that's right in the buy side liquidity pool right now. So if this fails, that's the second look at it. It's the second look at it. And it's holding again for now. All right, let's take a look here. So a couple of hours here. Some spread down here. And we have some benchmark 2 up there at 215-ish.
Yeah, my screen, Scott.
Thank you.
Yes. And hola, AGL. Welcome. Welcome, great Scott. A lot of Scots in the house.
A lot of Scots in the house. So NIVF has a benchmark. It's been acknowledged there at kind of 150. The sell side liquidity pool on this one is sitting here at almost double top, but you know what I'm like with they're not double tops. But let's see, right? So if this is halted up for the moment, there's a sell side liquidity here between 35 and 44. If we close above there again, obviously you have got a double top, but you could then start for a run up to this $2 bogey area that you need to be careful, sitting in there around 185. So let's see what that does after the halt. But yeah, just want to be careful here that we don't kind of tap into this on the unhalt and then dump. So just let it play out for a little bit and then jump on it when it's made the decision up or down after the halt. But yeah, we'll keep that one on watch. Thank you very much, great Scott. AGL Trading, hola to you as well. And MLEX Shane is moving well. Okay, where is I can't see you on the stage, Tim. All right, MLEC. Okay, so MLEC, that's the one we said a little bit just before pre-market. Okay, so that just attempted to break that sell side liquidity here, toying with those pre-market levels that are sitting up there at 350. Let's see what happens here. If this holds now, like $0.50 shorts are going to be up there at 350. The most recent buy side on the micro front is going to be sitting down at 297 to 284. So round about there. So need to make sure, again, this is going to choose direction. These are so close together, the sell side liquidity and the buy side, based on this initial swing, that we could just kind of hang around here for a bit. So let's wait and see if it gives us a little bit more direction. If we pop down into 295-ish and then start to curl round again, that might be a nice anticipation of the break, considering that we did just close above this. In terms of liquidity, there's not much here now anyway. Now it's gone above, but the gap is from 320 to 360 or 390 on MLEC. Okay, no worries. I've got you. Yeah.
I'm sending it, Scott, if you want.
Oh, you got it. You got it. Thank you very much. Oh, he's on. Here we go.
Oh,
We've got him. Hey, Tim.
Hey, folks. Yeah, figured it out.
Here he is.
Yep. So
been a busy boy this morning, yeah.
Yeah, I guess this was technically Wednesday's stage, but it is all good. I'm happy to be here. My audio is working too.
I think you could be a little louder for me. I don't know if that's the same for you, Deanna, but
yeah.
Well, as long as it's working. So yeah, technology, huh? So yeah, we've had an exciting week. We've been getting the new Trade the Pool hub launched, the new system, a little bit friendlier rules for the traders. So, and yeah, I was just looking over the tickers this morning. I'm still kind of surveying the market as a whole, and to be honest, I need to. It's been so busy. I need to pop my head back in the gate. But this was a real interesting one. You might like this ASLN, Alpha Sierra Lima November. And this was, so they had two things at once. So they announced positive interim results from the phase 2 study of eblasacimab for dermatitis. Yeah, so it's very specific skin indications for this treatment. But they reported 66% response, it looks like, versus 14 on placebo. But they also simultaneously announced that they got a delisting notice from NASDAQ based on their overall shareholders' equity. So I'm curious to see, we got a little pop on the open, and I'm really curious to see which way these dueling catalysts will play out. Other than that, I'm just looking over the movers for the day. So,
okay, cool. Thanks for that, Tim. Yeah, so Tiny T tanked off of that sell side liquidity pool there on MLEC. So the buy side didn't even have a chance there. So let's see if what we've got down here at 250. But yeah, a very quick flush there at the moment.
oh wow, lots of halts and volatility this morning, huh?
Yep, NIVF 38 again. Let's have a look at NIVF. Okay, so NIVF closing above that, halted above that level there. So that's why I said give that a chance to see if it wants to hold as MLEC did. So NIVF has broken it to the upside. So the gap is now on. Now, we don't know how aggressive this is going to be. It could halt all the way up there. And you know, could be then one of them where we get a halt down as well. But the buy side, I'm always kind of, rather than chasing, waiting for that buy side. So waiting for a pullback to buy that dip. So this guy has finished. That's game over for that one. So that's the pop that gave us the halt. So let's see what we get out of this. So it can either be, for me, a push up and then a pullback to the benchmark. So either something like this to go, or a pullback to the buy side liquidity and then to go from there. So we might halt up again, and then we might come back to buy side liquidity a little bit lower. But again, it's going to be a bit sketchy on these halts to get into, when they're halting for 5, up for 1, and halting for 5, as we've seen at the moment.
Netflix is looking good so far as holding that demand zone. So the bullish zone from the hourly time frame found support there and has wicked below and moving up. So if it continues to break higher, this could be a possible area of interest. Whoops. I'd want to see it break a little bit more definitively before getting in here, but this would be an area I'd be interested in.
Gotcha.
So
CI. Go on, Tim.
Oh, it's real interesting. So I'm looking at the market as a whole. I am seeing a lot of pop and drops. But if I look at which one is this? This is SP let's see. Whatever the SPY average basically. I think it's equal weighted. Let me double check which one that is. Oh, never mind. Sorry. Thought it was equal weighted versus the others. But yeah, this is I'm noticing Dow and Russell down basically right where you might have hit this already, but they're right back down towards the Friday's close. And SPY and NASDAQ are both sitting up there, so they've got a good gap they could fill to the downside if they wanted. I'm sure you were calling out there. Yeah, we had so many of them. As you know, I'm looking a lot at Target and Disney. Both of those gapped up and already below Friday's close. So you mentioned a couple of the names you were looking at. Did you looked at Tesla already? I'm assuming they've got a gap up that they could. Because what they have China news. I think it was the China production. What was the catalyst on them? Let's see. But it is interesting that they've got a gap to the upside they could fill as opposed to kind of everything else.
Great Scott, ADBL's got volume coming in. Let's have a quick look at ADBL. So again, that's one of these ones on the smallest kind of time frame. Look at the 1 minute and 2 minute. From the lows of Friday, we're coming out above 425. That for me is once we're out of that kind of accumulation zone, that's when we can see the pop. I don't know that it's got any. Has it got any other? No, there's no real great catalyst necessarily for that I'm seeing this morning. Let's just check over ADBL. No brand new catalyst for this. And we had this on the radar last week, right, where it got up to 12 from 4. So if I'm taking, let's get this a little bit closer in. So if I was taking that high to the lows that it's got here, the sell side liquidity pool would be sitting up there around 9 to 10.50. The benchmarks are ahead of that. So they're before that sell side liquidity. So it may not need it. Let's see if I can grab that. Yeah, so let's see. Where can we get in on this one? EDBL 43 time is 46. So this is currently on a halt. So let's see if it halts up again first to get into that benchmark and what it does there. But if we can get up to 6, we'll be looking to see if we see any rejection there. If it was to drop, its buy side pull for support is around $4. So around $4 there on EDBL. So we'll put that back in the watch. And CISS, SS Trades looking at CISS. I don't really see anything great on CISS. Again, I think didn't we have something on this last week? I think this pop here last week didn't really come to fruition for anything, and we've put in a new low now. So I'm not seeing, again, I don't think we've got a new catalyst. No, nothing new on this again. I don't see enough to be able to push this higher today. If you're looking to short pops, there's not really too much to do. The pre-market higher to the pre-market low on the open has just tapped into it around 120. So there's the first short. So really it's a momentum play if you're looking to short any more of that. As it pulls back to the moving averages, really. Let's see what it is on the 1 minute. Yeah, a little bit sketchy on the volume as well on CISS this morning. But I think that short play has been done. the target would have been where it is in terms of buy side. So I won't draw this all in now, but the pre-market low to the open high, that first target would have been there at 12 to 15. So it's already tapped into there. So yeah, be careful on momentum for that one. On CIS. Marina, good morning. Good to see you again.
Hi, Marina. A couple others. SS Trade, good morning. I'm not sure how to say. Rubo Jody, welcome. Shane, welcome. Good morning. I think I already said. A couple folks are trickling in still. Good morning to you all.
EDBL unhalted. And AGBA, yep. Going nice SS trades on AGBA there. So this was the original benchmark coming out of the pre-market for AGBA. Then we've pulled back. Did we touch into its buy side there? Oh yes, we did. I drew it in on there. So so it was using its buy side there. Don't think it's gone into days though, is it? And just hit it up by the sounds of it. Yeah, no, it didn't get to days. So if we're trying to join that, the dip buy would be at 140 to 136, somewhere around there. Otherwise, you're looking at a potential momentum play on the color change. There's been one here, and looks like they're trying for one there as well. So if I'm just looking at benchmarks on this from pre-market, though. So benchmark number one is up there between 180 and 195. So look out for that. And then benchmark two around 220-ish, 225. So there, and right where we are now, actually. So yeah, just a little bit above and a little bit below. So that's the pulls. That's why we've got the pulls on AGBA right now. So let's see. Actually, let's move this one up. Let's go with the most recent one here, in case we get a little pullback on AGBA. Okay, that's AGBA for you. Bring that one down. Was watching that last week. All right, quick look over MLEC.
We have a push higher on the NASDAQ above the London highs, the overnight highs.
There we go. That's what we was waiting for. I normally like that trade before the New York session, actually. Let's have a quick look. So MLEC, that was the trade there, kind of done the sell side to the buy side. Obviously, it can now roll out of here. We'll keep an eye on what we hear on the tape now. But if it's gonna, what did we have? If it does want to go for 4 today, it'll either be looking to see some volume come out of this buy side pull.
Now, have you by any chance seen this one here yet today? Kura, Kura.
Kura.
Yeah, I'm curious. Now, I was about to say they were holding up, but they just dropped down a little bit. Volume's low. So this is Kura Oncology. They just got breakthrough therapy designation for specific type of leukemia. I'm curious if you see anything from a technical or a liquidity standpoint there.
Right where it's at now, Tim, I've got it. For why you just mentioned, you've seen a little drop, a little pause there. So yeah, the trade gap.
Why?
Can I tell you why?
The little drop, yeah. Sounds like you were like,
it's just on my screen there now. So the play for me. I was
excited.
The play for me is obviously trying to grab actually that area right in that gap in between when it breaks out of a potential accumulation there to get it. Now I would just be looking to see whether or not that swing can hold up for a pullback. So now I'm just looking, to see if this push down can hold 17.5. Then you can potentially see it want to break benchmark 2, but let's see.
And that seems to be about where most of the midlines and averages I have on mine are holding. So nice little confluence there.
Yeah, that's what I've got. Let's see if we can bust through that benchmark first. But yeah, nice little dip by down here at 17-ish, 17.5 would be nice. Will is short MLEC at 283. Nice trade. Still getting paid on the momentum. See that momentum play has just come in there. The green, 2 red on those moving averages. So let's see if we can get right down there for 244. Yeah, right at the bottom of that range.
I was just gonna say I don't see a ton of like definitive movement. I thought it was gearing up on Kura, but it's gonna be a wait and see. And now a lot of other things, it's target that could be it could be carrying on moving down, but a lot of these things I'm not seeing a definitive move yet. Tesla though is starting to really curl up just in the last minute or so. Slight increase in volume, like very slight though, decreasing over the morning so far. So
yeah, so a little bit of the market was just so you got that 15 points, Deanna, on your NQ from London.
I'm done trading NQ for the morning. I already met my daily goal pre-market. So I'm just watching NQ and looking for some other plays this morning.
Okay.
But we do have the potential for, it's early. It's possible we could set up a 2022 model short though. If we can get, so we did kind of, we've come up to these liquidity areas above the London Open and then sort of the New York pre-market at 6 o'clock. So these 2 liquidity areas, price has taken those now. And if we get a strong break lower, that could set up a potential short.
Okie dokie. 161 went on 10k. Nice for a 2k profit. Well done, SS Trades. Good job.
Sounds like Lufkin's looking for a silver bullet short too. It's, the NASDAQ moved over these swing highs here, but at least at the moment doesn't look like it's going to close above it. So we could see a reversal here. We're starting to get a move lower, and a break with some momentum could be a good indication of where the market is headed potentially.
Okay. So a quick look, AGBA at these small caps. AGBA is pushing that benchmark up there. It's got another benchmark here at 222. So it didn't come back for the liquidity. And pushing up there for 220 potentially. NIVF benchmark. A couple of tweezers sitting right up there just above the benchmark and down. Halted down, is it? Yeah, halted down at 52 past the hour. So a couple of minutes there before that resumes. You'd expect that to break this on a halt down, because halt ups are kind of easier to stay in. Buyers will dump on halt downs generally, of which there's been 2 on this. So let's see what happens there. So it was just off the bogey level there at 180.
Now, one thing. Oh, here we go. Lufkin. That's nice. The little bit of neuropsychology. I like that. Randy,
I was going to say,
yeah. Well,
maybe your amygdala needs some coffee too.
Yeah. I don't know. Randy Howell, one of my gurus. I'm always watching his things, but he always talks about how when you get anxious, about your trades, you see something, you start routing through the amygdala. So you don't want to be in that. It's one of those, what is it, a useful friend but a terrible master? But yeah, he's all about the breathing, Deanna. Like in fact, I'm gonna.
Yeah, exactly. It's helpful, right? We
For me,
need
it's
the
less.
amygdala. We don't want to get rid of it, but it can get us in trouble when it comes to trading. That's for sure.
Yeah, for me, it's less like beforehand, and it's more just like in the middle of the day, being like, "Hold on a second, am I actually breathing? Let me just like,
Yeah.
um,
It's continuous, right? A continuous process to check in with yourself.
ideal. You know what? I need a poster on this wall. I just needed to say breathe, and
Yeah.
then. So to what you were saying though, Deanna, about the market as a whole, Nasdaq and so forth. So I'm starting to see some volume pick up, and then I'm starting to see, um, yeah, some strong volume upwards, though not breaking the
Mhm.
upside there. But I was curious if you were watching the crypto market, the crypto landscape over the weekend at all. I know you mentioned Mara. I forget which of you mentioned that, but we did have the Bitcoin halving on, I guess that was Friday morning, actually. And so over the weekend, it's just been, it looks like it's really. Now, why is my screen share not splitting which one it. You know what? Hold on. I'm sharing the wrong window here, so bear with me. But yeah, I do see. You know what I'll do? I'll just do this. Bear with me while I need to figure that out. Anyhow, the this weekend it was just kind of chopping around, but I was seeing what looked like a bullish bias to me. And then if I can get this window to share, I will let you know. But it really seems like it's you know,
Tim, are you talking about a bullish bias on the Nasdaq
no,
or
on well on
crypto?
Bitcoin, on crypto generally. And
Okay.
it seems like it's really it seems like right now it's corresponding to Nasdaq. I'm just gonna just share this whole screen right now until I figure out what's going on with my screen sharing. But it seems like we dipped below a couple things and then just really held and are ready to go up there. We'll see if that does what I'm looking for there. But yeah, so and these are volume candles, which are new in trading view, but you can see here, this is a super trend line right there. So you can see Bitcoin just kind of came down and wicked down, pushed up, tested it, and now it's kind of pushing up again with a little bit of volume. Ethereum too did it just below, and now it looks like it's gearing up for that push. And if I look at, for example, Nasdaq, I see on seems to be it's a little harder with the volume candles, but it seems like a corresponding timeline, like it
On the
seems like
crypto, it
things
kind of
are
looked
there are a
like
little bit of variation, but even in crude oil, look at this. It seems like we've got roughly the same movements, and like Russell, look at that, comes down below and now pushes up. So I'm feeling a lot of the names I was looking at were strong. I think we're gonna try to reclaim and push up, honestly, just across the board if I had to guess. But interesting. Very interesting. It should be an interesting week anyway.
hmm Yeah, this will be a week full of earnings announcements. So we're getting close on the Nasdaq anyway, incredibly close. It seemed impossible, but we're approaching the 200-day moving average, which we really haven't been there since October 23. So that would probably be pretty constructive for the market to continue lower a bit, but it might take a little respite before moving down there potentially. And it's definitely overextended to the downside. That doesn't mean it's not going to get more overextended to the downside, but it would make sense to see a bit of a snapback rally this week potentially. Anything can happen.
I'm actually
Still
just looking at
undecided,
Santa
isn't it?
Fe because I'm stuck in a swing on that one on my trade the pool account. I'm actually we got a lot of traders getting in on the new system. I'm actually still waiting to get back into mine just because the email address it's under has some issues. So um, yeah, but I couldn't close out of that after hours on Friday. So unless it tripped my daily, it looks like that's gonna push up again. But
And which one is that? The NASDAQ or?
Sanofi,
Oh, gotcha.
and SNY. Let me see if I can remember why I was in that. It's been a busy weekend, but trading view. Can you remember what? Oh yes, they had multiple sclerosis antibodies is their thing. So yeah, that was real exciting. And it looks like it looks like they're just moving generally. They were real strong on Friday, except towards the close, if I remember correctly. But
So Netflix continued to move lower, just kind of broke that support so far and is just still cratering lower. And Tesla is kind of doing the opposite of that. Seems to have found maybe some level of support and is pushing higher after that, last week had a pretty big tumble. But the NASDAQ to me still looks pretty undecided. We're just we swept the London highs, had a strong break on the lower time frame. So like the M1 time frame had a really strong break lower with an imbalance in there. So drawing the Fibonacci, it was close to the 50% retracement. So this is an area where, a lot of times I'd be interested in looking for a short where we took out the London highs, broke strongly lower, and, would have been interested in entering somewhere in here for a possible quick push lower.
yeah, and with Tesla too, I mean, they I think the biggest catalyst was I thought there was some stuff earlier in the week with China. I'm trying to remember what it was, but I know that they had the price cut news, right? And
They had price cut, and they laid off a bunch of people.
oh well, that's bullish. So
well, there were a couple other things. They laid off a bunch of people. We're gonna lay off more people, and it seems like there's some uncertainty around Elon Musk specifically, like what his intentions are with the company and where it's going. And then of course earnings tomorrow.
Yeah, with
this
what
could
tomorrow?
be like earnings tomorrow.
Oh, Tesla's earnings are tomorrow. Okay, yeah. So this is all probably just de-risking stuff. Yeah, I do know that the Tesla board recently restricted how much of his stock he can use as collateral for loans. But one thing that was funny on the price cuts, though, specifically was I don't know if you saw I saw on Twitter some people looking at the ads they're running, and the price cuts. I don't trade Tesla myself, so I didn't follow the pricing exactly. But apparently, the new prices he's quoting include projected gas savings. So it's not actually as much of a price cut as the headline number you might see, which is pretty funny.
Good morning, T. Kim. I hope I'm saying your name right.
All right. Doesn't look like NQ is making its mind up yet, does it? It's
no, really not.
Taking its time this morning.
It is. It does look like it could break lower, but I would simply be looking for like a 1 to 2, or maybe at most a 1 to 3, because it just doesn't seem particularly decisive.
Yeah, I agree. It's definitely.
It's a Monday with no high impact news, so it's not totally surprising.
Yeah, I am seeing the in equity indices, the thing I'm seeing the most movement on. Let me just double check here. Yeah, is I mean Dow's doing it. They're all kind of moving similarly. Dow is still up, but the thing I'm seeing the most strength in is the what's wrong window is the Russell here. So, and then it's interesting to see crypto and NASDAQ, let's see, I'm at 6, but I had 4. So yeah, there's Bitcoin on the left, Ethereum. So it's interesting. Ethereum's usually a little more volatile, a little more risk on than Bitcoin, and it is just trying to reclaim that level. Bitcoin's just keeps pushing up, keeps building volume, and then not quite pushing through. But this on like oil now is making its way up through, crude oil is, and then look at this on the Russell. Like it had a big sell, it's coming back up, and then so I'd be looking at small caps for a long set. You know, it might be that Russell Nasdaq spread, right? And that could be, you know, and for those of you on Trade the Pool now, we now do have it. There is not that 30% auto stop. So now you can manage your daily loss your portfolio as a whole. So if you wanted to put on a spread, you do not have to monitor that quite as closely. You can just look at your overall balance. Before, when you got to 30% on any one entry, not one position, but any one entry, then it would automatically close out that piece. And that meant you had to do a lot of active monitoring if you were doing a pairs trade or you were hedging your overall portfolio with like index ETFs. Now it does not do that. So you can set your own stops wherever you like, and the system will just pause you for the day if you hit your overall daily loss. So that means if you wanted to put on something like, you know, for example, IWM long, NASDAQ short, or vice versa, you know, and you can even do like TNA if you wanted to be more leveraged on one side than the other. So I'm really excited because it opens a lot of great possibilities. Oh, look at this here with what's going on. That was a candle and a half.
On the NASDAQ?
Yeah, I'm gonna try to zoom in and get a more granular view, but I'm not. My keyboard is not.
So with the 2022 short that I was talking about, a move lower, a strong
Yeah.
break, and then a retracement, you'd already be past a one. You could have taken a profit at one, you know, a 1 to 2 risk to reward. Haven't quite made it to the 1 to 3 yet, but it just hit the 1 to 2, and there is some, you know, liquidity down below. So if I was trading this, I would be definitely either getting out at 1 to 2 just because price seems a little volatile and not committed this morning, or maybe that's me. And but we could see a move below this liquidity level here. Now we have kind of these relatively equal lows area here, but I would definitely be trailing a stop.
Yeah, and this does look like some strength right off this super trend line, right? And if everything else is, it might be one of those where if everything else is pushing up and then Nasdaq catches up, right? Like, I don't know. That's interesting.
All right, let's see. We've got in chat a couple of tickers in chat that I'm looking at here. So MTTR, Tiny T. Yeah, I've got a benchmark one right here where it's at. That's on the daily though, right? So it's literally just popped straight to its daily benchmark. I literally can't see anything because of how far it's gone from 160. But we've got
a log scale, or what do you have your?
No, that is just where it's. I've got a VWAP or a sessions on there, probably an anchored VWAP somewhere, but it's not giving it to me right now. But in any case, it is just a jump from 160 to $5 right now, just under $5, and bogey level at 586, $6 benchmark 2. That's what I've got on MTTR. I'll take everything off there. I don't think it's going to make any odds to the to the fact that it's just jumped that high.
Now, this was really interesting too. That I was looking at NASDAQ and Bitcoin, seeing if they were moving together, diverging. So they were both relatively the same direction. Right when NASDAQ got that little bounce right there, the Bitcoin actually pushed just above that 66,210 level, and now it's above it, meandering, seeing if it holds. But I think it's real interesting that right when NASDAQ bounced, now I really see everything moving up together. So feels like a trend. Let me go back over here and see what we got. Yeah. Not across the board, but in some of the big names, tech, AMC, apparently. I noticed GameStop really showing a lot of weakness lately too, so we're gonna see if $10 can hold on GameStop. You watch that at all?
No, I see AMC pop on the scanners this morning. But yeah, I did take a look. Really? But it's a crazy. It's down there at $1 something from where it come from. Or was it $3 AMC? I can't remember.
Yeah, here we go. And it's finally well, it hit 10. Oh, you know what this looks? I don't know what's on the left side here, but that actually looks like a big ol' sort of. That could be an inverted cup and handle kind of. Certainly the same kind of motion, if nothing else. So it could. Man, if we lose 10 definitively, that's game's over, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Hey, what are you? How if you look? I remember actually. That was one of the first things that we talked about on the Trade the Pool Discord. We had that. Have you looked at the? Have you done your analysis on that lately? I'd love to see what your liquidity analysis sees on GameStop lately.
On GameStop, yeah, I'll check it out in a second. The Nasdaq's trying to push. I'm short Tesla here from 143.58, and I was hoping the Nasdaq could help it along. The Nasdaq's just trying to break down on its new lows. But every time it goes for a new low, they bid it up. So I'm not sure if that's going to help.
And yeah. And Paul, okay, cool. Paul, are you on the?
It just barely dipped below those relatively equal lows and just trying to make it down there. But there is.
Hey, Deanna?
I'm sorry, I lost audio.
Oh, right. Okay.
Okay, I think I'm back.
Yeah, you're back.
Did you ask me a question? Back. I'm sorry, I missed it.
No, you were talking and then we lost you. I didn't know whether we'd lost you or not.
I was just saying that the NASDAQ has kind of dropped. There was this area of relatively equal lows. Price dipped below it, but has not displaced below that level here. On the minute, so very small time frame, I do have an area of like a bullish zone where price did break strongly higher, dipped back in here and pushed higher. Price is coming back into that level. So we could see a little reaction from this area here. But again, this is that trade that I was talking about earlier to the downside. Already hit 1 to 2. This is where 1 to 3 would be. But there is this area here. Super small time frames. So we'll see what happens here. But so far, it's just looks like a lot of, kind of churning, especially when you look at the medium time frames. This is the M15. To me, it kind of looks like it wants to push lower with all these, long wicks on the upside. I could see a push lower. Here is an area where I would expect to maybe see a bit of a reaction inside the Asian range. But it looks a little heavy. Looks like it might reach that 1 to 3 level after all. So we'll see what we get here. Getting a little bit late in the morning, though.
Paul, real quick, I saw you're having some difficulty there. So yes, you should be able to extend. And if you're having some issues, yeah, you mentioned you reached out to the help desk, so not sure there. If you are on Discord, go ahead and pop on there, and just let us know in the funding discuss, I guess, what you're trying to do there. But yeah, you should be able to extend it. We did just migrate to that new system, and some of that's still in progress. So, we'll figure it out. So yeah, go ahead and pop on Discord if you can. and we'll see what's there. Otherwise, yeah, I'll let support take a look and let you know. Per trade loss limit has changed. Am I right? Yes. Now there is no loss limit per trade. It's just that. Yep. And Valerie or Boogie Woogie is standing by. That's TTP Valerie on there. So yeah, if you pop in, you can even get a hand right now. Per trade loss limit has changed. Am I right? Yeah. So the loss limit, it used to be per entry, right? So if you had a larger position composed of set where you entered several times different levels, it could even be kind of strict different based on where those entries were. It got complicated if you had multiple entries. Now there is no loss limit per filled position. There should be a link in the hub. If not, let me go ahead and put an invite link. If we can we put an invite link across the screen, Scott?
For the Discord?
If I share a link.
Yeah, if you yeah.
Brilliant. So now it'll just your daily loss limit. That's the limit. Unless you're below the amount daily loss, then the bottom is your max drawdown. But yeah, so it's up to you. Great power, great responsibility, and all that. But you are free to do that. And
great, Scott. If you go on to your, sorry. If you go on to the trading hub, you'll see if you're on the left-hand side overview, if you're on that tab, the Discord icon is on the right, and you can click on that icon to go to the Trade the Pool Discord channel.
Brilliant. And is that in the new hub as well? It's in the same place?
I'm looking in the new hub.
Okay, there we go.
And it's right there, super easy to find on the hub.
Oh, that's brilliant. And so I'm just going to put an invite link anyway for anybody watching this show.
Right, don't forget, you choose We Trade is still on, and it's slightly different format, which is We Trade Your Trade, right? So if you can put in the chat what you like the setup of at the moment, and then we'll pick one of those and we will trade them accordingly, or perhaps choose a couple, we might trade a different one. But yeah, put those in the chat. What is a trade that you think is a good setup, and we'll all have a go at that, and we'll pick one to trade
I've just
very
put that
shortly.
As my little blurb. If you want to throw it up there, but I'll just leave that for as long as I'm on as well, which might just be a few minutes, to be honest, because well, we've got a bunch of events for the week that I want to prep. I'm excited, and to be honest, they're doing controlled burns around here, so I can feel my throat starting to get a little itchy. But well, NASDAQ just broke that little super trend down. And this is what I was seeing earlier this weekend on some of the crypto stuff, like where it would slip down, pop up, and look like it was really gearing up, and then just lose it and slide down again a little more, and some of those slides down can be pretty brutal in terms of the size. But Russell's still holding. Do we know? Hey, do either of you have a nice way to see, if you're looking at an index, to see which of the components are triggering the move? Because that would be real interesting. Let me actually see that. I'm going to try this on here. I think Moomoo has a thing with the components. I don't know if I can see.
EDBL going into the bogey level right now. See if it's got 780 on it or not. Little rejection there. AGBA.
Looks like we're looking for that. Looks like we might have another two 2 points to the downside on the Qs. Interesting.
There we go. Look at that. Red all over the dance floor right now. Had to wait for that one, didn't we? Had to wait for that one.
That was gorgeous trade though. If you're still holding, you could be trailing a really nice stop. We're just absolutely crumbling now, but looking at the 1 minute time frame, that trade set up really nicely. And at this point, you could be, it just hit 1 to over 4.5 now. So that was just a beauty trade there.
Oh, beautiful. I love it. It's like I am Spartacus style. Everybody's spamming the link now. So there you go. There's the Discord link. Thank you, everyone. Let's see. This heat map I'm looking at, the heat map is really interesting. Drill down into sector. So it seems real idiosyncratic well, this is not even that much. Can I change it by sectors? We're really small green on almost everything, it looks like. Well, that depends what NASDAQ is. And yeah, Mumu, it has a thing I can click on an index, and I can see the constituents. It'll show me a little dialogue for the change, but I don't know if that's the change in their holdings or the change in the value of it. So I'm guessing it's the change in the value, but I'm not positive, so I don't want to speak out of turn.
Okay, I've got Parashort on here potentially. Riot also. Trader Life is on Riot. I think that just took no, let's have a look at Riot again. Riot was, yeah, sell side pull now off, broken buy side. It has a really nice, decent gap now. So it come out of its buy side liquidity up to the top there, bogey level, and I don't know if we can get there right in one hit, can we? That'd be nice, wouldn't it? The buy side. Right. What trades have we got out there from everybody that we can take one on? I think there's one potentially setting up on. Oh, I'm not going to put words in your mouth. You can tell us what you want us to trade. What's a good setup that you got going on at the moment? Trader Life, long
calling
story
out
short.
MLEC.
Sorry, Deanna.
So DJ called out MLEC hanging around 240 range. Can you check this one? I think that's question to you, Scott.
Alrighty, okay.
Looking for an analysis on MLEC.
MLEC.
Oh, right. So bleeding out too. Interesting. And I'm going to hop off. I'll leave you to that. But yeah, folks, check out. We're going to put some more events. We've got a big week in Discord. So, come back to this Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and throughout the whole rest of the week, pop into the Discord. And we'd love to see you there. Love to share and learn with you. So
cool. Nice one. Thank you, Tim.
Yep. Good luck. Thanks again for having me on. Cheers.
See you later. Wow.
And Scott, do you have a Discord as well?
Not that I'm actively promoting yet. My socials are all kind of being set up at the moment. I know I'm liquid_vision on X or Twitter, and very similar on Instagram. The Discord is, it may be a Discord, it might not be a Discord. I haven't quite made my mind up on whether that's the right platform for what I'm trying to do at the minute, but yeah, not right now. So MLEC, some should laugh at that. Some people like to
You can find me on Discord too if you're interested. Psychologist to trader. Said we just talk about trading psychology, and if you're interested, come check it out.
So MLEC, the MLEC, I have a buy side liquidity pool here that looks like it's failing. Is it? Yes, it's right at the bottom of it. So the gap that I have is between this kind of 230 level and 180, but you have to be careful that we don't work our way up and out of this. So I'll listen for this on the tape to see if MLEC comes out again. But for me, that short was from the sell side liquidity to the buy side liquidity. Now it gets risky because we're going to go into that kind of 10:30 time and afterwards where it's not so great. I've just covered my Riot trade, by the way. And my Tesla, I should probably take a look at as well.
Lufkin's calling out NQ just filled or just about filled the new day opening gap. Right at the bottom there. It's taken the Asian range lows and looks like just a hair from completely filling that new day opening gap on the NASDAQ. This is that gap area, and you can see we're right at the very bottom here, plus wicked below this. So this could be an area where we might expect to see a potential reaction if price starts to move higher from here. On the 15-minute time frame, we're inside this bullish zone and just took that out. So now I'd be watching to see if price will react higher from here.
All righty. What have I got here? So Riot, so Tesla, I'm still hanging on to. Short Tesla from 143.58. So I'm short Tesla just after this kind of tap into the liquidity pool and back down. So my target's just tapped in there now. So I'm going to close this now. So Tesla, you could go deeper into this. What we got, 141. But yeah, I don't want to be greedy on that one. So closing Tesla now. And Riot was Trader Life called out Riot. That was a great shout as usual from Trader Life. It went into those moving averages. So I was looking to see if we could on momentum get down to this kind of 980, 990 pool. This is finished. And actually, I don't know whether we could have this on again at the minute. Let's have a look. It's right in the sell side liquidity pool here as well. So Trader Life, you caught that one. I hope you took some of that off. Although I don't know whether it's setting up again here. Let's see if we can get a close underneath this. Close underneath this level here. I think it's worth another go. This. Let's see if we can get under those momentum moving averages. Made 50 on it. Nice one. Well done, Trader Life. Thanks for your comment, by the way, over there on X. See you over there from the stream last Wednesday. Appreciate it. Thank you very much. Okay. And the other one that we said was, have we got a trade for the day, anyone? You choose, we trade. EDBL still going. What was the one that just PA was it? Didn't put it on my watch list. Is it PAPA or PARA? Oh, it's PARA, was it? Okay, yeah. So what did we have before here? Oh, okay. So yeah, this one, thought we recognized this one. Let's take this high to this low. See if we, oh no, that's not it. It's a little bit lower. Okay, yeah. So we're in sell side liquidity there as well. Oops. So yeah, just still seeing if we can't get some confirmed rejection off this level. Just see where the benchmark might be coming in most recently, back on the 17th. Yeah, it's in a benchmark. There is a benchmark 2 up there at 14s, which would be above the sell side liquidity. But for right now, that benchmark is sitting right on it. So let's see if we can get a little bit more confirmation of rejection off of this box for a short on para. Right, so this is for you choose we trade, waiting on para around 11.05 for the long story short. Okay, sounds good. Great Scott, AGBA holding up above 2. It certainly is holding up above 2. Where did we have on that? It was just above there, wasn't it? 220 I had. Okay, so there you go. Sell side liquidity failed. That gives us the momentum push to potentially to the next benchmark. So for this one, I'd be looking for this benchmark to hold, looking to see some sort of rejection, and then a sell side liquidity pool hold for a short on AGBA. Else, if we shoot up and close above 230, it's got potential to do the whole move again. So as in what, 150 to 2, so another 50 75 cents above where we are at that benchmark 2. But let's see if we get some rejection off of here first. So watching AGBA now. Riot did hold on to that sell side liquidity again. Might have another push there. Yeah, agree. SS trades, AGBA looking a bit extended there. So what do we got then? Futures retrade. We've got Riot, which I'm thinking at the minute looks still like a short, but obviously there could be a long as well. So let's get a confirmation on Riot. That was it, man. That was it. That's the comment I saw. Thank you. Okay, so we need a kind of price and a buy or sell and a ticker from you guys. Come on, what's it going to be? Doesn't have to be small cap. Can be anything you want. Hey, Blues. Yeah, that is so the credits, even though the accounts have been moved over, the credits will be following along shortly. So you will get that $50 credit back into your account. Just look out for it over the next few days, as I understand it. You can't be talking about me. It says trade. Surely you're talking about Deanna. Will Arzen, ANET could be a short. Lufkin on there for you, Deanna.
Let's take a look at maybe what we could.
I don't know about free credits, but if you have credits, they might be showing a 0 at the moment, but they will be brought over. Oh, thank you very much. Thank you very much. I always think it's quite a harsh British accent. It's not very posh anyway. Marvel Cell. Mega Happy Fire, Marvel Cell. So one there for you choose we trade.
Scott, I lost my audio and had some issues there for a little bit. Did you see that you're getting a shout out for your lovely accent, though? I know they're not talking about mine.
No, that's what I said. That's
So
what
that
I
has
said. They're not talking about me. It must be you. And then you went all quiet. Oh, fair
No,
enough.
it's definitely you. That's funny.
Oh, I appreciate that. It's very nice. Very nice of you to say so.
I know. I had a cool exotic accent, but never to be the case, I guess. And Lufkin, yes, I maybe not quite bullish yet, but looking for some kind of reaction at that lower level there. So we did sweep the London, I'm sorry, the Asian lows. We swept the Asian lows and the new day opening gap, like you mentioned. And so now I'm looking for a lower time frame indication that the move down has subsided. So I want to see a strong push, just like we saw up here, where there was a really strong break of, it's a little hard to see at this point here, but there was a really strong break of this swing low with a fair value gap or an imbalance. So I'm looking for the same thing now in reverse. We swept those Asian range lows. I want to see a swing high be broken strongly with an imbalance created as well.
All right. All right. So what trade's it going to be? We're going to pick one up. We have a Marvel sell, although not indicative of a price on that one. So let's see where Marvel is at the moment. Marvel. Okay. Yeah, I could do that one. Marvel sell. We'll take a look at that one. And what is the other one that was there? I thought so. ANET could be a short from Will. ANET. Did anyone call out AGBA? Did anyone call out AGBA?
Marvel looks great. That's a good one. We
Yeah,
just got to sweep below the New York PM from Friday, a strong push higher. That looks great.
I think
now the NASDAQ is starting to push up as well.
Okay,
be a good place to hop on.
Okay, let's do it. Let's run that. Okay, so it is going to be Marvel. MRVL. So I think I'm good with it right now because I'm just. You going to have some of this, or shall I go for it? MRVL.
I like how it looks right now. I agree. I would, ideally love to see it pull back a little bit, of course, but I know that's not really the name of the game. We didn't quite get the break I'm looking for on the NASDAQ, but so if I was trading this, if it was having my ideal scenario, I would want to see it pull back a little bit, maybe to 62.15 area, even maybe 62.08, somewhere in there. This would be the area, my ideal entry area here. If we can get a little pullback, but the NASDAQ is still going, so might not get that.
Okay, so I've gone short.
Okay, I'll go long.
So I've gone short a little early because there's no rejection yet at this sell side liquidity, but just anticipating at the moment. So if it closes up above 62.70, then that could see some upside momentum. It's just tested its lows, as you said there. So I'll be very careful. I've got a moving 200 moving average there that's held the pre-market more or less. So, yeah, with that being held and a sell side here, let's see if I get some rejection, I might add to this. If I don't, I will cover it if we get up there above 62, kind of 80 area. Trader Life has NKGN from Great Scott. I have a look, and SPLL. So NKGN.
Well, you're looking that up, Scott. I'll say hi to Blues and Mega S, Moses. We had a lot have joined just recently, so I think I got everybody there.
Yep. Hello to you all. Hope you're enjoying the show. So yeah, I have
Tom.
NKGN.
Good morning.
Short 150 sell side liquidity on NKGN. So yeah, I like that a lot. The gap for its initial kind of profit is very, very close. It's kind of 150. Yeah, we'll probably look to get down to 130 again if you can get there. Could all day fade, of course, if it breaks 120. But yeah, definitely a nice short on there at the moment on NKGN. Got some. The tape's been real quiet this morning. I mean, we've had a couple of halts, but other than that,
Monday with no high impact news. So,
yeah,
everybody's just gearing up for the week. Should be a crazy week this week with all kinds of earning reports coming out. Some big, huge names: Tesla, Microsoft, Google. What else? Tesla's tomorrow. Microsoft, Google, I think on Wednesday. Should be a pretty exciting week.
Yeah, SPL's not a ticker. Morning, Tom. So if it's not a ticker acronym, what is it? Trader Life's playing games with me here. Right, if it's not, so SPLL, what does SPLL mean? If it's not a ticker, it's definitely not a ticker. I've tried it 3 times, AGBA. I don't know. I'm gonna have to go over to my my SPLL. I'm thinking short sell.
SPLL, self-propelled loader launcher. That's a rocket. I guess that's unlikely.
I had single parents a loving life, but that's all.
Software phase locked loop.
So AGBA is looking.
Got me.
What happened on my Marvel here? 1 second. 62.70. Oh, no. Don't know what happened there. AGBR quite like this up here at 218. I'd rather it at 225, but it's definitely stalling up here at the moment. No, it's definitely not that. We'll keep on guessing. I'll have a think. Have a think. Great Scott, MLEX still ranging.
Oh, I know what it is.
Come on, what is it?
Some people like to lose. I'm pretty sure that's the slogan.
Oh, some people like to lose. Yes, about 95% of them are called into the stats. Okay. Yeah. So MLEC just forget the buy side liquidity pool at the moment. Look at the trend line. If that breaks, I think we're going to fill this gap here on MLEC. If it really can't at the moment work its way out. Most recent sell side liquidity is sitting up here at $3 or 290 is the lowest area. So it's cracking now. There you go. There you go. All right, so I had to re-enter my Marvel for some reason. Yeah, I don't know. I couldn't have dragged my stop up far enough, I'm guessing. But yeah, I got in again on Marvel, 62.50-ish.
And you're short on Marvel?
I've shorted Marvel. Yeah, I'm just have a quick look on MRVL. Yep. So yeah, I think it's when I double click on a position, I think it closes it out. Didn't realize that, but I think that's what I've done is I've double clicked on the position in the position window, and it must close it out. I didn't realize.
On the new platform?
No, just on the standard. Yeah, on the trading platform.
Mm-hmm.
In the positions window down the bottom or wherever you've moved it to is yeah. If you double click it, you click it once and it will bring the chart up. If you double click it, it's closed the position. At least that's the only thing I can think I've done. But in any case, we're on again. AGBA. There's that short coming off. That was nice. That was nice as well. A little flush. So target initially on AGBA is going to be kind of 185-ish, 190. A little flush from everything else as well on the Mag 7 front there. Went a bit red to the right of me. Oh, buy side liquidity pool there. Oh, just tacked it. Just tacked into it right now. So yeah, it's time of day on AGBA to be very careful on this because say just short of that benchmark. So the newest sell side liquidity pool now sitting up there at 208. So let's see what we have on there. What did you're thinking Trader Life saying what's right at the top of the hour for the long story short? That's an LSS. We're calling that an LSS, that one. 30 to 50 cents win. Fingers crossed. Yeah, I was just looking at that as to whether or not it's going to hold that most recent consolidation at the top there. So yes, what's that look like on the 1 minute? Yeah, it looks like it wants to come pull back. Buy side. Yep, could be on again. Could be on again with Riot. How did MLEC look like? MLEC, yeah, look, just the trend line. Back to basics on that. It was like the buy side pull was kind of as soon as it comes down, doesn't have to break it, but if it does come down and utilize that, for me, it's kind of done. Just leaving it there to see the break of it. But that was just your bog standard trend line break to try and grab onto that MLEC there. Great, Scott. I think he's looking for that. Hope you could get something off of that. What happened to Tesla after I got out? Did I leave? I normally always leave some money on the table with these big caps. It's not Tasmania. TSLA. All right, okay, not too bad. It's I took it off at the very top level. It's in the middle at 1040, so we'll see what we've got now. NQ trying to push lower as well. Not quite a double bottom, but very close to it. Marvel has a Marvel trade going on.
We're getting a little bit of a pullback there.
So that's getting more into the area that you'd like, is it?
Mm-hmm.
It's a long.
Yeah.
So
ideally, now the area that I would want to get in would be a little bit higher than what I said before, somewhere between 622 as low as I think I said 622. I mean 62.22 as low as 62.07. Somewhere in this area here would be a really nice area. So that's right where it is right now. I already went long just as soon as you called it to be a good sport, but this is the area that I would have preferred to get long. But if NQ doesn't hold up, it could be a loss anyway. So, and NQ, I'm getting all kinds of alerts now. We're dropping below that area there, which I believe, let's see, why am I getting alerts on that? So we're now down for the day, red on the day. So below the opening price, we've totally filled the new day opening gap from this morning, and we're starting to move into a bullish zone on the 4 hour. It's possible we have more room to the downside here. So I wouldn't be surprised to see, price move a little bit lower. We have a bullish zone on the hourly as well. We're still up in the premium in the higher level of that. So I would like to see it at this point move deeper into that level before looking for another long opportunity. Unless we get a swift push up here. But for me, we've got 5 minutes till 11 o'clock. This is not a great time to be taking any, additional trades, because we're, like we talked about this before, we're late in the morning rather, approaching London lunchtime. So this could set up, but generally speaking, this is kind of getting to be a less and less ideal time for new trades.
And speaking of that, I'm going to have a quick look at SAP because it's on our thumbnail. And yeah, I'm just going to do what I'd normally do here, but I believe it's having earnings this evening. So my buy side liquidity would be 166 down to 165.70 on that. That's where it's sitting at the moment. And the sell side, if it's going to break to the upside with any momentum, is going to be more like about 166.70. This is on the 1 minute, right? This is on the smallest time frame. So this is kind of intraday to see what we can get past later on and see if this is one of the levels that they break out of. But that is it. Let's have a look at a higher time frame.
Looks pretty ugly on the higher time frame. We're pretty well below the 50-day moving average. The 200 is way below there. So there's not really, at least the way I'm looking at it, a very clear, obvious area for support, at least on the daily time frame. And I certainly would not want to be messing with it, on the day of earnings. I'm not seeing any support level. I guess maybe a little bit lower down on that if you're looking for a really short-term trade. But I also wouldn't really expect a whole lot out of it on the day before earnings. I would think most of the big parties are interested in waiting until after the news release rather than trying to guess the direction prior to a news release or earnings release rather.
Yeah, agreed on that one for sure. So yeah, I think on the higher time frame on the daily here, so these are the intradays I just called out, but 165 to 164.5 could see the bidders come in on that, and 167.22, 168.40 is the range to the downside. So if it does cause any kind of decent move, I think it would have to see a breakout of those levels above the sell side for the long and below the buy side for the short. But if you do pump up into that 168 and it rejects off, then perhaps that's a good short side. I'm going to cover my Marvel short right there, and then we'll take a look at what we've got. Okay, so the one I've just closed here. What's going off in my ear? Oh, indexes, Google. So what have I done today? The Marvel trade, like I said, there's something that occurred on the Marvel trade that I don't know. So I might have double clicked on it. So I just got in again there. It was 62 and 62.45, and then out there just at the let's bring that over and show you why, if there's any reason why. MRVL. It was close to buy side, or that's what I felt like. Yeah. So I just traded it between the two pools, which is kind of the normal thing I do. So the sell up there and cover the buy in the middle of the pool there on Marvel. Then on Tesla, my trade, same again. I shorted the sell side pool, took it off at the top side of the pool. Where is that? That is so that looked like that. So short up about 143.62, covered that down at 141.27. Oh, and then right. So right was my other play today. Same thing again. Sold the sell side liquidity. Trader Life obviously called that out, brought it to my attention. Thank you very much once again, and covered it down there just before that pool. Let's have a look what it was on the trade the pool.
Good morning, future day trader. And Mega asks, what trading platform is this? This is TradingView. Scott and I are both using TradingView, just kind of customized to our own preference. So it looks a little bit different, but it's the same platform. And then it looks like he's just pulling up the Trade the Pool platform,
which is Trader Evolution, is the Trade the Pool platform. So yeah, right there was the sell. That's when it pulled back to that sell side liquidity. So actually, I got in before on this one here, so that's why I was in there, and then covered again on the dip down into that buy side liquidity pool there. First time around, actually, it was down here. So that's what I had on that one. Deanna.
So I traded like a trader's choice Marvel. I went long on Marvel, and I had said my ideal entry would have been around the 70% level, somewhere between 50% and 70%. So ended up, this is where I actually entered, and so got stopped out right at the bottom. But this is what I would have actually done if I was operating according to my preference, entering somewhere in here and looking for a push higher. That way, if we get a push higher on NQ, presumably Marvel could also push higher as well. And then I was looking earlier at the NASDAQ, a trade here when we swept the London highs, price dropped strongly lower, slight pullback, and into the, I believe it was a 50% or 62% range at the time that I had it drawn in, 62%, and then really nice move lower from there. So I'd still be looking for a move higher if the NASDAQ can show some kind of strength and indication of reversal, but we really haven't seen that yet so far.
Okay. All righty. So just had another one in there from Hanish. Hanish, how are you doing? Haven't seen you for a while. Hope you are doing well. EDBL, was benchmark 2, and actually, which we didn't just see, but it's actually pulled back to its sell side. So yeah, that's a nice short off there at 7:30, and my target for that now. So this buy side pull would have moved up now.
Wrong screen, Scott. Sorry to interrupt.
Oh, thank you. That's all right. No, absolutely. Thank you. Wouldn't have been a lot of use without that. So yeah, benchmark 2 sitting up there. The target now is kind of at 5 to 450, and it's just come off of that sell side liquidity up there at 750. So yeah, that's as you say, Hanish, that's a nice play. But the target down there for this one, watch out for those buyers that come in here on the color change though, right? At these moving averages, if they get a 1 minute color change, you can see this pushback again. Just in case they do, your sell side liquidity that would either stop their profit at that point, or if it breaks above it would definitely push further into benchmark 2, but that's sitting up there still around 720. But looks like it's got the, there it goes. There they come. All right, so that's what we've got today. Good long core Marvel, Doctor. So let's have a
We'll
look.
see.
Yeah. Yeah, let's see what that's got on it. Well, everyone, thank you very much for being here again today. We've got Blue Elf, Boogie Woogie, Tiny, Toronto Daz, Great Scott, Lufkin, Scott C, SS Trades, Trader Life, Will R, Hanish there. Who else we got? Anyone I've missed there? Deanna.
Marina. I know Marina was in here. I don't know if you said SS Trade.
Futures
Muhammad
Day
was at
Trader
the
billionaire.
DJ.
Yeah.
Who else did we miss? Shaw. Thank you so much. Will, everyone, thank you so much for being here and for joining us today.
Yeah, we appreciate it. We'll be here tomorrow, same time, same place. We'll see what the fallout is from those earnings and be looking forward to Tesla as well. But for today, thank you very much. Goodbye from me.
Bye.
Bye from Deanna, I meant to say.